You guys seem to love when Liz Not Lizzie edited my episode so much last time, even though
she kind of made fun of me a little bit.
I asked her to do this one as well, and she obliged as long as I paid her money.
And I can appreciate that.
If you haven't checked out her channel, you should. You know, recently we talked about Dinesh D'Souza. Originally, this video was going to be a trailer reaction to his movie, Death of a Nation, but I hate to falsely advertise. Apparently, I had a lot to say. I ended up going on a political rant where I talked about all kinds of things talking about politics and why I wish I didn't talk about politics, but I do. Hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Good night.
Another one.
It's time, ladies and gentlemen, that time of year again to get political. Oh, snap. Look out. You know, I always go back and forth in terms of like how political to get. Something like The Trump Prophecy. That's the movie that like inspired me to keep on making videos. There was really a time where I was like, you know, I don't know if like Christian movies is something that I want to keep reviewing. But I've been doing this for so many years that I think the core, the root of what I do is review Christian content. The Trump Prophecy, it's not a Christian movie. It is, like it claims to be. Christians think that it's a Christian movie. There is a level of politics, I guess you could say, political drama more than politics. Politics is a divisive topic. You know, in this political climate where it's an election year, the internet still exists after all this time. You've got people, they're like, cancel this and cancel that.
So lame that you're bringing up cancel culture.
But I think for me, as somebody who grew up in a Christian household, very conservative homeschool household, listened to Dr. James Dobson, and I don't hate Dr. James Dobson. Now, do I agree with everything he says? No, especially when it comes to
politics.
One of the things that I don't agree with is the fact that there were so much boycotts back then. Hysteria, Procter & Gamble, they support the gays, Disney World. That's the type of stuff that I will comment on in terms of making fun of, but I don't like to get into. But I do find the political theater very funny. And I also will comment on economics quite a bit.
But I try to keep it out of my content.
Speaking of like cancel culture and that sort of thing, there was a time not too long ago that Mike Nelson of Riff Tracks and formerly Mystery Science Theater, he was being canceled on Twitter for like a day. The reason for it was he was on a podcast, Mike was on it, and then the guy, I don't remember his name, but he is the one who designed Earthworm Jim. He's a Republican. Both of them are. I knew Mike Nelson was a Republican just from reading about him, but he's very not outspoken about what he believes in or what his politics are. I remember one quote, he was like, I guess I'm a Republican. I think that there's a lot of stupid stuff within Republicans, as we'll probably get into in just a little bit. So the name of the episode was
Things White People Aren't Allowed to Say, or something like that.
That's racist! Okay, great.
You're not allowed to say that.
People can say things. Point is, I saw a lot of people saying,
I'm really disappointed about Mike because I've watched Mystery Science Theater and Riff Tracks for so many years, and I love those shows, and so now it's disappointing to find out that he's a Republican. I guess I kind of think about it this way.
Sometimes I wish I could be the type of person who you could watch and pay attention to for 30 years, and unless you dug super deep, you would never know what their politics are. Because he has such a dedication to the entertainment aspect of making content that it doesn't come through. He doesn't push it on people. His job, he knows, is to make people laugh and to have fun, and he does that, and it's amazing. I'm not disciplined enough to be able to do that. Probably already in this video, I'm gonna get people commenting and saying, I used to like you, Kevin, and you've disappointed me because you have a different belief than I do. I don't know what to say about that. My inclination is to defend someone like Mike Nelson in that particular situation. And also my inclination is to say things offhand without thinking about what I'm saying. But I also have this total desire within me to just say what I really believe. And when I'm backing down and I'm like, I don't want to share what I really believe because that might affect my channel, I might get people commenting and saying, I'm disappointed in you, Kevin. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. That sucks. One thing that I've tried to cultivate on my channel is this ability for people to approach me and share their side and their thoughts on things and let people know that it's fine. It's okay to disagree with me. I know that there are people who think differently than me. In fact, most people think differently than me, judging by the fact that we still have a massive government. You guys win. You win. But I like talking about things that I disagree with, and I like making fun of things that I think are dumb. I had a conversation recently with someone on Twitter, or someone posted, and they were like,
Is it wrong to call something or someone stupid?
this is just a rant, a ramble. And I commented, and I said, I think it's inappropriate to call somebody stupid. It's rude. Kind of makes it seem as if though you believe that that person can't grow or learn. However, I think it's crucial and essential to call ideas stupid. And maybe I believe stupid things, but things that are stupid should be called stupid. Now, sometimes you don't always want to say, hey, your idea is stupid. I don't think that's the best way to open up a dialogue. People aren't irredeemable, and I think that people can learn and grow, and it's great to have those conversations. You know, there are things that I believe now that I think are better than things I used to believe.
In a Christian household, in a very conservative household.
That's the most important thing, is to not look at people as stupid or irredeemable, but also to recognize that sometimes people hold bad ideas and beliefs. This is the main crux of what I was talking about. Oh, but some of what I said made sense. I think the reason I said all that, one of the reasons, one thing that I think about a lot is I go back and forth on what I want to talk about. Sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I was like Mike Nelson, where I never said anything about politics ever. And then other times I'm like, yeah, but this thing is stupid. And I think sometimes I will call something you like or agree with stupid.
How dare you?
I didn't like this one. This one wasn't as funny. No matter what you believe or how you feel, you're welcome here to enjoy the content. Just know that when I review something and the things I say are things that I really do genuinely think and believe, I can't stop, even though it might cost me everything. I'm gonna be me, unfortunately for me. Let's check out this. It's called Death of a Nation, a reference, of course, to Birth of a Nation, I'm guessing, which was a silent film, I believe. I've heard that it's offensive. I've never seen it. I'm not gonna give a lot of facts about it because I don't know a lot about it. Maybe I'll research it after I make this video, but my guess is it portrays minorities or Native Americans or somebody in a stereotypical light. That's my guess. Oh, from the producer of Jurassic Park and Schindler's List.
Lincoln was elected to unite a country and stop slavery.
I don't know that he was elected to do that. Not that he wanted slavery. I mean, he was from the North, but looking back on it, said some things of the economic impact that it would have to suddenly get rid of slavery.
Democrats smeared him, went to war against him, assassinated him. Now their target is Trump.
What a switcheroo! I can be sympathetic to certain ideas. I don't think all of American history is evil, but to say
Democrats went to war against Lincoln and assassinated him
leaves a lot of things out. And then also to jump from,
and now they're after Trump.
Conflating this idea that Trump is the new Lincoln. I don't know about all that. Okay, so I don't think a lot of people agree with this property damage sort of stuff that people are doing. That's relevant today because people are doing it in certain cities. I don't agree with it. I think that it is wrong to destroy people's property, just like it's wrong to destroy people's person, because people's property is something that they chose to do with their life, work for that money, and then take that money that's based on their labor to purchase things. And so just like slavery is wrong to take somebody and force them to do a thing with their labor that they don't want to do, taking the fruits of their labor, I think it's also wrong to hurt and destroy the fruits of somebody's labor through other means like destroying property.
Well, but they have insurance.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
I'm not going to get into that. I'm just saying that they're showing something here that most people would say, yeah, that's not good. I don't want that.
So help me God.
They say he's killing America.
There will be a vote to impeach.
They say he's a racist.
This was a white lash.
And a fascist.
I mean, I do find all of this, I want to get off this image. I do find all of this political drama ridiculous because just the hyperbole of 2020. If anything is out of control, it's that. People are like, 2020 is the worst year ever. It's not. Coronavirus is not the Black Plague. It's bad. It's slightly worse than the flu. Sure, I'm not saying it's the same as the flu, but it's also not the Black Plague. Like, if anything, this is like the pinnacle of first world problems where people are like, I can't leave my house for this reason. I have to wear a mask for this reason. Like, people were fine in the morning and dead by the evening during the Black Plague. I think it's a little different. It's just, it's interrupting your cozy life.
Got him!
In the same way, like, I think all of this drama, this political theater and drama, it's not the worst time in human history. In fact, it's probably the best time, one of the best times in human history. There's just so much hyperbole. It's out of control.
Northern Democrats had conspired together with Southern Democrats to take away.
Sounds like a CinemaSins episode. is starting.
Who are the real fascists?
Who are the real fascists? Well, Hitler, for example. Sure.
Both Mussolini and Hitler set up and ran welfare states.
This was done by the do-gooders, the liberals, the people who wanted to improve society.
Which part?
I mean, even Hitler, I'm not, please, come on. Maybe I shouldn't even say it, but I will say it.
Do your next words very carefully.
I don't agree with him.
Any dictator, Stalin or Mussolini, Hitler, they have their vision of what they think the world needs. And they're like, well, the poor people can't handle it. It's just that taking away people's freedom, it doesn't like help people. It may secure them. You can force everybody to stay in their homes. And I guess people were doing that now. But ultimately, I don't think people would necessarily argue against freedom, right? Like, who's going to argue for slavery? Slaves are safer when they're on the plantation. Freedom's good. It's better economically because people then have the ability to decide for themselves what they can do. If the government or some plantation owner or whatever is deciding what you do, then you're gonna end up with would-be geniuses and doctors and inventors. They would have to work the fields. Like it's just bad for a central planner to decide what people are going to do for their job because then they're not being utilized to the best of their ability. If you have the freedom to make your individual risk assessment, more people are going to choose to do things. My point is that all of these people want giant government. From my perspective, yeah, any of them who are pushing to have larger police state and a larger welfare state and any of these giant government things gives power to people who could abuse it, like Trump or Obama or any of these people. Like you're acting like there's something special or different about Trump. I don't freak out about Trump in the way that a lot of people are like, it's the end of the world and we're all gonna die. But I also recognize that if you give power to the federal government to control and to be responsible for all of these important things in your life, then they have the power to take those things away.
Oh, well, you're a criminal because you went to this protest.
Using these things against people's political enemies. We don't want that. That's my actual beliefs, but also it's just funny that people make these accusations.
You're Hitler. No, you're Hitler.
We don't have Hitler in office. Neither Obama or Trump are that. And that's good. We don't want that. Can we like have these basic political conversations without jumping to these extremes? You literally want to kill grandma.
Party attacks our free speech.
How dare you speak against the law?
Our religious liberty.
Both parties. People want power, not freedom. And so they want to be in charge. I want my political party to get to decide whether you can say a curse word on the internet.
A nation dies when its people are not free. We too must fight.
It's funny how libertarian both sides will sound. Like some people on the left, they're like, defund the police. Okay, awesome. Yeah, let's get that going. Then you got people on the right who are like, defund Planned Parenthood. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's just defund all of it.
An end in terror is preferable to a terror with no end.
The stakes could not be higher. We're talking about America, the greatest nation on earth.
Relatively speaking. But I'm glad. I do like America. I'm glad to live here. It has its problems, and I think from my perspective, there's lots more things that could open up and make people more free. On both sides. But I am glad to live here. But you know what? I know people who are glad to be where they're from, so...
Lincoln saved America for the first time.
Oh, the first time? This is the first time any president has ever done anything.
It's now up to us to save America a second time.
Holy crap. In theaters, August 3rd. Whoa! And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I know that I took forever to get to the actual point of this video. What I just like talking about things. I guess it's a documentary. I don't even know what this movie is. It's just a trailer. Just propaganda is what it is, which is typical of probably not a great movie. Is my review. Thank you everybody for watching, and thanks for bearing with me and enjoying me talk about politics, the funnest topic of conversation. That's the last that I'll speak of politics for a year, for 4 years. 4 more years of politically free content. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.